Welcome to the Three Grandmas podcast. I hope I made it in time and I haven't been cut off at the start, but I'll say it again. Welcome.
We're not live.
We're not live?
I don't see it. I have my iPad. Oh, here
It says we're live, idiot.
All right, now it just did. Okay, Jesus. I'm just
Welcome to the Three Grandmas podcast. We're going to be doing a scene from the movie.
What's the name of the movie? You can just tell the people the name of the movie.
And action.
I just spoke with the constabulary. These blackguard pirates have fled without a trace. I'm so sorry, Sarah. I'm afraid the old Ben Bao Inn has burned to the ground. Well, certainly a lot of trouble over that odd little sphere. Those markings baffle me, unlike anything I've ever encountered.
The sphere starts to beep and whir as Jim messes with it.
Even with my vast experience and superior intellect, I would take me years to unlock it. Hey!
Jim manages to unlock the sphere, encasing the room in green light as it shows a map of multitude of galaxies.
Why, it's a map! Wait. This is the planet Montresor. That's the Magellanic Cloud. Woo! The Coral Galaxy. Oh, that's the Cygnus Cross, and that's the Kyrian Abyss. Wait, what's this? Why, it's...
Treasure Planet.
No.
That's Treasure Planet.
Flint's Trove, the loot of 1,000 worlds. You know what this means.
It means that all that treasure is only a boat ride away. By the way, Time, you're Sarah now, I guess.
Yep.
Whoever brings it back will hold an eternal place atop the pantheon of explorers. You'll be able to experience...
Click as the sphere closes and the map disappears. Mom, this is it. This is the answer to all our problems.
Jim, there is absolutely no way.
Don't you remember all those stories?
That's all they were. Stories.
With that treasure, we could rebuild the Bembo 100 times over.
Well, it's just... Oh my. Delbert, would you please explain how ridiculous this is?
It's totally preposterous, traversing the entire galaxy alone.
Now at least we hear some sense.
That's why I'm going with you.
Delbert!
I'll use my savings to finance the expedition. I'll commission a ship and hire a captain and a crew.
You're not serious.
All my life I've been waiting for an opportunity like this, and here it is screaming, "Go, Delbert, go, Delbert, go!"
Okay. You're both grounded.
Mom, look. I know that I keep messing everything up, and I know. I let you down. But this is my chance to make it up to you. I'm gonna set things right.
Sarah, if I may, you said yourself you've tried everything. There are much worse remedies than a few character-building months in space.
Are you saying this because it's the right thing to do, or because you really want to go?
I really want to go. And...
Jim, I don't want to lose you.
Mom, you won't. I'll make you proud.
Well, there we are then. We'll begin preparations at once. Jim, my boy, soon we'll be off to the spaceport.
And sing it
Again, god damn. Is there any
Jam,
character I can't play? I was fucking Tony Montana.
I love that you weren't even trying to do Delbert's like.
Of course, I'm trying to do David Hyde Pierce. David Hyde
But
Pierce
you
is my
weren't, though.
spirit animal. I was and I wasn't.
Spirit
because I
animal?
put my own spin on it. You know, I
Yeah,
just don't want
okay.
to be. I don't want to do a fucking impression. I want to, put my own little spin
Yeah.
on it. This is
And
the
do the-
off-Broadway production.
Here I am.
Treasure Planet.
Treasure Planet. That's Treasure Planet. Okay, I'm ready. And JC steals it like, oh, God, I guess I'm Sarah now. Son of a bitch.
Sorry. It just came out. I couldn't help it.
I'm so excited.
I've watched this movie 100 times. I love that line where he's like, Treasure Planet. That's Treasure Planet.
That's Treasure
Anyway.
Planet.
Yeah. Anyway, if anyone couldn't tell, the movie we're talking about today is
Nymphomaniac.
Disney's...
Oh.
No. No, different podcast. That's the after show. We are talking about Treasure Planet, which is a childhood favorite of mine. I chose it myself for a number of reasons. But before I get into those reasons, I'd like to open up discussion to the other boys. How do we feel? How do we feel coming into this?
I liked it. I thought it was really good. I could tell they spent a fuck ton of money on it. I could see that it's like 2/3 hand drawn, and all the backgrounds seem to be CGI. I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it.
What's your when coming into this? Like, what was your how did you know of Treasure Planet? Like,
No, I didn't even know it existed, to be perfectly honest.
Really?
No, because
Okay.
for whatever, in 2002 was a wild fucking time, JC. I don't think I was watching a lot of Disney then. I mean, so it just kind of hit me in that space where you just, it wasn't in the media, I don't think, very much, because the media landscape was totally different at that time. So for whatever reason, I missed it, but I'm glad we caught it this time.
Yeah, it's a some people consider it like the death of Disney. Like, it's the one that it's like the first major theatrical release that was a major flop. And I always loved it. I didn't I don't think I saw it in cinemas. I would have been 4 years old when it came out. But I remember we had the home VHS of Treasure Planet, and I'd watch that over and over and over again, to my mum's annoyance. I guess I just really liked pirates when I was young, which I'm only just now reflecting on how much I love.
That now.
Just realizing for some reason I really love pirates.
I can see that. I was going to say, JC really has a fucking pirate yen. So.
Hey, we do not pirate shame here, okay?
No, it's not a shame. It's just some, people like what they like, and that's all good.
Yeah. So coming into this time, what did you know about Treasure Planet going into this?
I've never seen this, first time viewer. Hi. And I always wanted to see this, but I got this one confused with Atlantis, and I don't know if they came out at the same time or around the same time.
Similar time, yeah.
Okay, but they always felt to me like the same movie. I knew they were different, but I always get them confused. And even watching it, I was like, oh yeah, I got the characters of this confused and whatnot.
Yeah, because they draw all the princes and the princesses the fucking same at Disney.
Yeah.
Notice that? It's like, okay, this one's a different prince and this one's a different princess, but they're a little bit the same.
But yeah, Milo, the main character of Atlantis, and Jim are completely different characters. So Milo's more of a Delbert than he is a Jim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. I can't wait to see Michael J. Fox's his voice. That's not Michael J. Fox. That sounds nothing like him. What is happening?
And this is like early in Joseph Gordon-Levitt's career as well.
Yeah.
Probably like just after 10 Things I Hate About You, which was basically his break. So I tried to get my mum to guess who the voice was, and she couldn't pick it.
Because the voice it doesn't. I don't know if it doesn't sound like him.
There's a couple of voices that I was able to pick out, but his definitely wasn't one of them.
Yeah, and like I feel like once you know it's him, it's obvious. But but beforehand, but Emma Thompson is obviously like straight away. I
want to make love to the character, the Cat Queen captain. She was so. They did a great job with that character.
Someone that I think would love this movie is Dark, because it is very furry centric, and I think he would just love this.
Oh, I'm sure he does. I'm sure he already does love it. Yeah. I mean, you don't even have to ask.
I'm sure it's his favorite movie already. Like he says Titanic, but secretly,
it's Treasure Planet.
Yeah, but you know that inside the closet, the poster is the Emma Thompson captain. Is it Adele? Is that her name? Captain Adele?
Captain Adele. No, Captain Amelia. Sorry,
Amelia with the boots up to her freaking navel. She did a great job.
She meows.
I really love the moment like where he gets onto the ship and he's talking to Mr. Arrow, and he's like, "So when do we set sail, Captain?" And he's like, he gives him an answer, and he's like, "But I'm not the captain." And then she's just slinking around in the in the flags. It's good
entrance.
Now, what kind of creature was the first mate? Because he wasn't a cat person and he wasn't a human, but he wasn't a robot.
A rock guy.
He was a rock guy.
Yeah, that's what he looks
like. He's like a rock guy. Yeah, the Thing.
True. I'm like
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Arrow. He's just a big rock person. So I remember when we were reviewing Pirates of the Caribbean, Prag kind of accused me of having nostalgia goggles on. Like I feel like he nailed me on that in that movie, I feel like this is a movie where I can, like, discussing it, I can push back against that accusation, because this is a movie I loved as a kid, and now I'm kind of iffy on it. It's not my. I don't think it's a great film. It's just one I have a lot of nostalgia for.
Yeah.
Whereas with
It's
Pirates of the
interesting.
Caribbean at World's End, I feel like all the decisions they made in that film work for
Are you
me.
talking about Pirates 3? You're still defending Pirates 3 right now.
Yeah, I'm still
Relative to
defending
this
Pirates
movie,
3.
this movie
Still-
is
Relative
4
to
times
this movie.
better than that fucking
No,
movie.
it is not.
Oh,
No.
the same writers wrote the
Yeah.
movie, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
writers
that's
of
crazy.
Pirates wrote this movie. Yeah, they're
Pirates
actually
is
obsessed with
fucking
Pirates.
bomb.
Every pirate
They're
movie
out of your
is
frame.
the same two people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. What are these? Who are these? The pirate whisperers? They know all the things about pirate. Only we can write pirate movies.
Terry Rossio and the other guy, Elliot. What's
George
his last name?
Martin, yeah.
And they had 2 directors, right? They had 2 directors.
Yeah,
on
John
this movie.
Musker. No, yeah, well, John Musker and
The animation guy, probably in a
The
voice
two
acting.
directors were the two writers of the movie.
Oh, okay.
yeah. So John Musker and Ron Clements, they made. I mean, they're big Disney directors. They made Aladdin. They made The Little Mermaid.
The good one.
Yeah, the good one. Yeah.
One.
They're basically royalty at this point. In the Disney sphere.
It's crazy too, because I was looking at their credits, because I was like, who wrote this movie? And you see everything, and then it's like, there's the movies that they wrote on, like Hercules and Moana, a little recently, whatever. But as you see all these other things, they get like writing credits, and they get credits because everything now from Disney is just regurgitating the same thing over and over again. So they just keep getting like characters based on the original screenplay, which was like, so it's like they keep getting credits for things that they have nothing to do with, and that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's so good. I mean, they're raking it in, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But what's really interesting is that this, like, obviously they made the bangers. Like, they made Little Mermaid, they made Aladdin. Obviously, they directed Moana, they directed Hercules. But apparently, according to the production of Treasure Planet, they'd been wanting to make this movie before they made any of those. Like, they apparently they kept asking Disney to make Treasure Planet, and they kept saying no. And
so they had to print.
They had to pivot
for them.
Yeah, exactly. So
right?
they had to pivot. Yeah. That's exactly what happened. They pivoted, made Aladdin, and they're like, "Now can we make Treasure Planet? Can we please make Treasure Planet?" And then they're like, "No, it's we don't think this is going to work."
Yeah.
So then, they made The Little Mermaid, and then you know what I mean? Like they kept making bangers. And then the one film that they really wanted to make, it was a flop. Didn't make them any money.
It was nominated for Best Picture, Best Animated Picture.
Yeah,
it only lost to Spirited Away, so that's pretty good.
Well, Spirited Away is a fucking.
Yeah, I mean, but I could see how it was. Of course, it's not Spirited Away, but I mean, what was amazing about this movie is it's one of the first times they really pulled off CGI mixed with hand-drawn animation. That's why they spent $140 million on this movie.
On it, yeah. It was a really expensive film. And what's interesting is it came out the same time as Atlantis. And you look at Atlantis, and they do the same thing. They do the CGI. It's almost like they started to transition into this.
Why would they release 2 movies at the same time? Because then you're just going to split the audience.
It wasn't the
I don't
exact
remember
same
any
time.
ad campaign for this. Like, I'm looking back, and they did such an amazing job when they came back with a roar with Beauty and the Beast, and that really recaptured. They had Lion King and stuff, but they really fucking went back to the hand drawn stuff, and it was really and it got great marketing campaign. And maybe you're not into the story of Beauty and the Beast, but you're gonna love the music and the drawing and all. You can appreciate it on that level, even if you don't connect with the story. But then also the story was great. The characters were well drawn and really full. I like that in this movie. Laurie Metcalf really did a great job. She was front loaded in the beginning of the film, but she really made us care about the characters. I felt like that having that mom there in the initial scene where she's like putting him to bed, and that's what Disney can do that nobody else really pulls off, is that you care about these drawings.
Yeah. You care about the drawings. I love the way you put that.
These drawings, right?
Just from the animation.
the Morph character was such a fantastic illustration of what you have to do to keep the attention span of a 7-year-old who goes with the rest of the family to see the thing, and they're not going to be able to concentrate unless there's a lot of activity on their level happening, and it's new, but it's old, and that's what Morph did. I think that was an amazing character.
Not just 7-year-olds, but my mum, like the whole movie was like, oh, Morph,
because even if you get bored or whatever, your eye can't stay away from him, because what's really cool about that character is it's all hand drawn, and you can see how much effort they put into, because he's constantly morphing and splitting and moving, and it's really like a master class. They're just showing off at one point,
Yeah,
I feel like with that Morph character.
Not just Morph. I feel like they were really showing off with John Silver. Just the way he is animated, and like all the little mechanics on his eyes and everything. It's so detailed. You see, like through a whole scene, you'll see the mechanics in his like on the side of his head whirling.
I'm so glad they didn't go full steampunk with this, because this is like a colonial futurism, but it's more warm. They have so many warm. They did space in a way I haven't seen in a long time. In that it's got a warmy feel. It's got a warm, homey feel to the bases, and it doesn't feel sterile. It doesn't feel like Star Trek or Star Wars.
No,
it's interesting. Yeah. It's just a difference. I've never seen a style like that. Yeah. I mean, it's I can't even put. And I think that's probably why it might be a cult classic too, because it has its own look. It's not like. It's not anime. It's not neo-futuristic. It's its own thing. It's pretty cool.
How did you feel about this movie, Time, especially Morph, because you've written Morph hater there.
What?
How did you feel about Treasure Planet?
This isn't the question, is it?
I mean, say whatever you want.
You can answer it however you want.
You can answer whatever the question you want it to be.
Your famous question. This isn't that time.
I was trying to slip it in, without making a big deal out of it this time. But
I like to slip it
now
in
you're making a big deal out of it. Now you're making.
I'm just asking. I don't know how to answer this. I don't know what to answer first, so that's why.
No, just answer it how you want to answer it.
I hate this fucking movie. This movie sucked.
You were not a fan of this?
No, there was I don't know.
Go ahead.
I wanted to, again, when you first said let's watch this movie, I was like, oh, I'm so excited, because it was this one and Atlantis, those are the two movies I've always wanted to see, but I never saw them. So for whatever reason, I've always just haven't seen it, even though it's been readily accessible to me for years, especially as I got older.
Disney Plus,
yeah, but whatever voice inside my head that was telling me, oh, don't watch it yet. I want to apologize to that voice right now. I should have listened to you.
Well, why didn't you like this?
It was boring. The characters didn't make any sense. There was no motivation. The story just felt like it wasn't going anywhere.
About? It's front loaded with motivations. The whole fucking motivation is the kid is trying to deal with his coming into an adulthood.
It moved way too fast, and everything just happened to fall into place right away. I didn't like that.
It's an animated film. It's got to be short. He's got kids watching it, man.
You watch The Lion King. That movie moves perfectly.
It's magical realism is the rule. Of course, it's not going to make sense. Of course, the black hole going to rip them into shreds. Bothered me
too, a lot, or not a lot, but it was just something I noticed where that character right there, where's he? Right here, Ben.
Ben. Yeah.
When Ben first popped up, I'm watching him and I go, okay, so. Who made this movie? So I looked and saw who made it, and the guys. I go, okay. They told Martin Short, "Hey, have you seen Aladdin?
Yeah.
Have you seen Robin Williams?
Yeah.
Do that. Yeah, that's exactly
what it was, and that was.
I feel like they cut a lot of him. I feel like he's barely in this movie. That robot character. It's like it seems like they just
in the second half,
and it's not bad. He just doesn't deliver bangers like Robin Williams does. Robin Williams delivers comedy, and
this little guy Morph. He was cute a little, like right away, but then he came off as a very second rate genie / Apu. Like he was always
Apu.
Apu.
Oh, Apu.
Yeah, Apu.
Oh, okay, yeah. I see what you're saying.
He was annoying after a while. I understand why, like a kid like
he's not for you. Morph is not for you.
Total sense. Makes total sense.
Just like Jar Jar Binks isn't for you. It's for the kids in the family.
That is not a good reference to me.
Well, I'm just saying they put these characters in because it's all market tested to fucking hell. Every fucking Disney movie. So let's just put all that shit behind us, because we know that every single character in this has been like written and rewritten to focus group into its fucking nether regions. But that's every Disney film. Yeah. So, I mean, you have to make a certain amount of allowances. Sometimes it works and
sometimes it doesn't. In this one, it just does not work for me.
I'll tell you one of the things
I love Morph, but Ben is an annoying character that I cannot stand.
I don't like Ben. He wasn't funny. Yeah. And I wanted him to be funny. Martin Short's can be very funny, but they didn't give him anything good to say. I think the music was lackluster in this.
Music was very lackluster.
I actually like the music.
I mean, they had a couple of,
who sang the song? That main song,
the Goo Goo Dolls.
I knew it was the fucking Goo Goo Dolls.
It was.
This sounds like the Goo Goo Dolls.
I mean, it was like, I don't know. It just wasn't good up to the standard, because usually Disney music is fucking banger.
Yeah.
Like you can't. I mean, you love it no matter what, even if you don't want to love it.
And
I thought that was the animation was the star of this, though.
Damn it! Why did you say that? I thought the animation was really bad.
Really?
There were parts of it that looked okay. What's his character's name? Jim. It's like they didn't know how to draw humans. Like his face sometimes
like
was
his face is sometimes really weird.
Yeah, like
right?
pushed in. It was
like
weird.
His eyes are too high sometimes.
It wasn't all
sometimes
the time.
they're too.
There was times
his eyes on the side of his head.
His face just pushed in, and I'm like, he's just standing there. Like what the
He's a weird.
You know why they had a problem though is because they're trying to use CGI as well as animation.
Yeah,
and they don't have the technology to pull it off, so they're doing like these spins and turns.
But that's
and it doesn't fucking work right.
Yeah, but it doesn't I feel like I think Jim is the biggest offender, but I really love the way they animated John Silver. I think John Silver is an incredibly designed character. I just love the way. I love how heavy he looks. I love how his neck is folded into his chin, and I just love the way he looks and the way he moves in the movie. I like that bit where he's where he's cooking up a meal and he does it in about 5 seconds, and he's. All the machinery comes out, chopping it.
The little details that work in this animation. It's not. I'm not worried about the figure drawings, because those are just there. You're meant to be looking at the action, and I think what they really pulled off is great action animations, and the backgrounds were very cool. I like the interstellar vibe and the CGI and all of that. But if it was just about looking at the character models, their eyes are on the side of their head sometimes because they're doing like rotoscope that they can't actually fucking get working. So
all the aliens look incredible.
I like the spider alien, right? That guy was killer.
Mr. Scroop. Yeah,
the mom was well animated.
Mom looked awful at the beginning, but then at the end when they were doing the whole thing, the ending, she looked better. Yeah, So, and then
I didn't think she looked bad.
They always look the same to me. All the Disney women look the same.
2D,
it's like they draw them all the same.
That was very jarring for me. I don't know any movie that's ever gotten that right. It looks weird all the time.
Atlantis gets it right.
Is it okay? Yeah. So
you got to watch Atlantis.
I got to watch that one. Yeah. So but every time I saw the 3D things, I was like, this looks like early 2000s Christian like VeggieTales.
DreamWorks. It reminded me of DreamWorks in a lot of parts.
DreamWorks.
I didn't like it.
I disagree. I think the animation works. My huge problem with this film is I think it commits. I mean, they're basically the same thing, same sin. Go on.
One more thing. Because I'm gonna fucking forget it. At the beginning, when Jim comes in, and there's a whole thing, where he inadvertently burns the place down because of the guy, coming after him, whatever. Yeah. And they're riding that carriage out. His mom's devastated, And he just looks at his mom and he's just like he shows no emotion, and that's
the whole thing.
So much. Yeah. He wasn't like, sorry, mom, or like, oh, I didn't. That's crazy. He was just like, did they forget to draw him without emotion? Is he just dumb? Like,
I know what you're saying. Yeah. Like he showed no emotion that his home got burnt down. But I think the two cardinal sins that this film makes is that the two most important character moments for Jim, like the main character of our movie, right? His father leaving and and him developing like a father-son relationship with Jim Silver. Both of those are relegated to like a 1 minute montage. Like
Yeah.
we don't like all you know how you were saying there's no motivation at the start. Could you
Mhm.
imagine if they'd like started the film and it explored
His
the
dad
fact that
walking
his
out
father,
and that. Yeah.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
like
They're still worried
properly
about
showed it.
length, though. They're worried about length
I
because they
know they
can't
are,
make
but
a 3-hour fucking animated Disney movie.
but of the things to choose to cut, like do not choose those two moments. They're the most
Yeah, 'cause
important parts of the
Because
film.
everybody
You
knows what
bring
that feels like. Everyone knows. Just like when Bambi's mother gets shot, they never explore the relationship between Bambi and her mother. They just kill the mother. You don't have to
Yeah, but
explain to
but
kids
that's a
what it
different.
means when a parent is not there. You don't have to explain to anybody. Everyone knows
Yeah,
what
but
that
like
is.
the nuances are important. Like the nuances on like how that affected him and like what his relationship with his dad was. We
He was
don't
getting
know
in
if
trouble all the time.
what his relationship with his dad was or anything. Like we don't know if he sees his dad as saw his dad as a good person or
Yeah.
not or any of that. Like we don't know anything about like
I
his
kept
relationship
expecting
with
his dad to pop up as like a guy later, like a pirate later or some
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
Because
like
they-
he showed up in
Because they
the.
want the kid to project whatever the fucking bad parent or whatever it
I
was
hate that,
in the
though.
audience. They just want you to project that and fill in the blanks of your own story. They always want you to put you in the film. So they try to blank these guys so much so that the kid is watching and say, "Okay, I'm Jim in this."
So you're
Right? 'Cause
saying
they're 9.
don't tell a story, you know? Like that means you're
They're
not
9.
telling a
This is
story.
made for 9-year-olds. This is made for 9-year-olds.
The
This is not
Lion
made for
King.
us.
The Lion
That's
King
made
was
for
made for
9-year-olds
9-year-olds.
too. Sometimes
Yeah,
they
but
make
the
an
Lion
accident.
King is a banger.
Banger,
Like the Lion
yeah.
King, yeah, the Lion King goes through every single point. You understand like all of their motivations because they play it out rather than just leaving it to lip service. Say, like the mum saying, "Oh, his dad left," you know. In like you don't find out that Mufasa died off screen. You see it happen in real time. Like those are the important moments. But I mean, the dad leaving, okay, maybe you
They
leave
showed
that
him
out.
fucking off the sea, right? He gets on a ship
Yeah.
and takes off,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So okay.
What else do you need
Yeah,
to say?
But it's in a montage though. It's like
it's in a montage.
I know
It's not like it's an
they probably had
afterthought.
all that filmed out, and they probably, if they added together, there'd be another 40 minutes if they took the 2
I'd love that.
montages.
Make that
and
movie, please.
they're
That
making
makes
it
the
for
movie.
10-year-olds that don't
It
have that
actively
attention
makes the
span.
movie worse. It
They're not
actively
making-
makes the movie
they're not
worse.
making it for adults.
about animation because like obviously if you make movies and you film something you know, oh, this doesn't work, time constraints, and you cut it out, right? For animations, this is a legitimate question, I'm not messing around.
Yeah.
Do they draw that stuff and then cut it out, or do they go,
Yes.
no, this is all we're
No.
gonna draw?
No,
They
so
try
they draw
everything.
it. They would draw it out and then realize that they don't have the budget to animate it all.
So they
then
draw
cut
it
it.
animated. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's usually how it works when they decide to cut stuff.
JC, I'm interested in what you wrote. You mentioned when you were picking this movie, you wrote about this film. I'm interested in what you wrote
Well,
about.
I would have gone like during like my downtime in like COVID.
Yeah.
I wrote like I wrote an essay and I also tried to. Yeah, I wrote an essay about Treasure Planet and like the storytelling problems of it. Because like you need to give your characters a motivator at the start.
I totally disagree with you guys. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
You're totally
He
wrong.
was well motivated.
I don't agree.
know what the fuck you're talking about.
What is he motivated
I don't
for?
see
Like, he's
any
a-
of
he's
the-
a little-
that- My
literally-
problem with this movie was not the story. The problem
The
was
story
when it
was the
started to
big
drag
problem.
when they got to Treasure Planet and they're in the bowels and they don't know exactly what to fucking do with the plot.
Okay, so
But
I
didn't
feel
have a
like
problem with it, so I don't know what. Maybe I'm on crazy pills or something.
I think you're
don't
on
see
crazy
it.
pills because I feel like when
I
I'm
don't see
watching this, like I want like the core of the movie, right? The core emotional part of the movie is meant to be his relationship with John Silver. Like that's the whole point of Treasure Island, right?
Right.
And Treasure Island, from what I've read, I haven't read the full thing, but I've read like I've read like the the narrative excerpts and everything. It goes through the motions of how Jim and John Silver become friends and become like a father-son dynamic. Like they go through all the motions on the ship and everything and how they teach each other. And this movie completely cuts all of that and relegates it to like 30 seconds in a song. It's like the most ridiculous thing I've ever... Like at the start of the film, Jim hates John Silver, right? Like they just don't get along at all. Like he makes him mop
Right.
the floor and everything, and then John decides he's going to keep his eye on him, and he's that's his.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to keep his eye on him, and he's going to teach him the ropes and get those skills into him. And you're like, oh, okay, so we're going to see them develop as characters. We're going to
That's
see
classic
them develop.
montage. Teaching
And
skills.
then they just
Every montage is teaching skills, right?
Okay, no, but like I wanted to see them in real time. I don't want to see it like fast forwarded through.
No way
right?
you can bring a 10-year-old to a movie like that where there's any deeper
They
character
cut all the
development.
Ben shit in the
They don't
second
give a
half and
fuck.
focus on that
They want to
stuff.
see action. They want to see explosions. They add that stuff for the mom that takes
do
them
you
to the
really
movies. And
do
the
you
mom that
think-
takes them to the movies gets 10 minutes. And the rest of the
When
movie's
you-
for the kid. And that's
when
just
you
the way
watch-
it is. That's just business.
When you watch The Lion King, when you watch
I have to watch it
Aladdin,
again. It's been a minute.
do you think those movies don't slow down and let those characters like interact with each other?
No, I'd
and
have to
learn
get a
from each other?
stopwatch
They
and see what they
absolutely
did with the
does.
interaction time. I didn't
They-
feel like it was that different. And I don't
can-
expect that much because I know what Disney does. And they do
Yeah.
it every fucking movie. And they have probably the same amount of time allotted in every single movie that they do.
Yeah, but the thing is with Hakuna Matata, like that's a montage in The
Mhm.
Lion King.
Uh-huh.
All right. But they develop the characters before that montage. Like he learns about eating grub and he learns about all this stuff before the montage. And then the montage happens and he grows up.
He just grows
But
up in.
you learn about those characters before that happens. With this movie, like he goes from he doesn't like John Silver, he's hard on his ass. We have a montage, and then afterwards they're best friends. Like there's
they're not
no
best
journey.
friends, though.
They
No,
are.
but
They
then,
love
then there's the conflict that splits them apart, and then
Yeah,
when
yeah,
they're back at Ben's castle or whatever the fuck it is,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
comes
so
back
that-
and they have another fight, and they're not really at each other's throats, and they're still
Yeah,
working
but that-
together through the whole thing.
But that betrayal when he overhears John Silver
But what is
say,
the moral? What is the moral they're trying to teach you? Even though your dad left, you can find someone in your life to be a peer. That's the
Yeah.
fucking movie's about.
"Yeah, I know."
Because there's probably
And they don't
50% of
go
the
over any
countries
of it.
that's got single parents at this point, right?
Like
and
that's
that's
the
the only
moral
thing
of
they're
the
trying
movie.
to teach them.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the moral of the movie, but they cut out all the important parts that make that moral work. They like that montage should have been like the meat of the movie. I feel like them on the ship learning
Could you
from each
imagine
other.
they would have never gotten this movie made, JC? It has to be a cartoon at the end of the day. It has to have action. It has to have ships. It
Then
has
that's
to have
okay.
all
Then
that
that's Disney's
shit.
fault. They made an actively worse film, and they made it work with The Lion King and Aladdin, but they don't make it work here. I feel like Time agrees with me. You feel like none of it's
Do you think
motivated, right?
that maybe that the guys that made it they were given like free reign because of what they did instead
No, it
of
was in
being
development hell for
like
years, and they
real
probably had to rewrite the script 40
Aladdin, like,
times.
whatever.
Yeah. Well, they finally gave it to them, and
And look
You know
at
what,
gave them the
JC?
budget.
I wouldn't be surprised if they wrote it like that, and then Disney said,
Yeah, I agree. That's probably exactly what happened.
Oh, maybe, okay.
Maybe
Yeah, I
I'm so
think-
cynical that I don't expect anything anymore, and I
But
kind
that-
of expect them to do that. And so when there's a little bit in there, I give them credit for that.
But
Maybe
that
that's
doesn't make the movie better. Like, it still means it's actively worse than what it could have been, is what
Yeah,
I'm
but,
saying.
Just the fact they did a little bit makes it better than 95% of all other animated productions,
Yeah, well,
right?
well,
Because
well,
most
well,
people don't even bother with any of that, right?
Yeah, but like you look at DreamWorks and they always nail it. How to Train Your Dragon nails it. All of them, yeah. Are you kidding? Road to El Dorado is a Road to El Dorado classic.
I don't fuck with DreamWorks, Jason. You know that.
Okay, whatever.
You know he's anti-DreamWorks.
I'm
You
not
know
just
that.
being-
You know that.
Yeah.
I like Studio
I-
Ghibli, and I like Disney.
Ghibli.
Yeah.
And why do I want to fuck with anyone else? And it was interesting to know that there was a Bulgarian Treasure Planet that was made in 1982.
What's that?
And there was a
I didn't know
mini
that.
series, and it was animated, and there was
Was that
also
Bulgarian?
another.
I thought it was
There was a
Russian.
Bulgarian, and then there was either one was Russian or one was Bulgarian, but there was like a TV show too. That's so interesting.
Was it like bootleg? It wasn't Disney.
I haven't
obviously.
seen it. I was looking it up. When I was doing my notes.
Was this before Treasure Planet came out?
No, this
or
is
after?
just straight independent Bulgarian animation. I haven't seen it, a clip or anything.
Yeah.
Like that. It must be
Right.
weird. It might
Okay,
be
you just
fun.
read about it.
I wish I
Yeah.
watched. I mean, maybe you guys should have seen that movie instead of this one because I'm shocked that I liked it more than you guys.
Yeah, I'm shocked
Yeah,
that you
that is shocking,
liked
man.
it as much as you did because I love this film
No,
as a
it's
kid
not that
because
I
I just thought
liked
the
it.
visuals were
I liked
incredible.
it as
but-
much as I could. Does that make
Right.
sense to you? As much
Yeah,
as
yeah.
I look at an animated film and I just want to like
Mm.
vibe out and
Yeah.
fall into the world. And what I'm more concerned about is the world. And as long as the characters and the story isn't too annoying, I can still stay in that world for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I didn't like that it wasn't very funny. They fucked that up. I didn't like the music because it should be funnier and better. And I feel like they tortured the script or something to get stuff out of it that they wanted.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like it went through so much production hell, and they just had they cut all the important parts
sequels?
and went. No.
Did they like make
doesn't.
a TV show or something? I mean, they always do that shit,
I
right?
don't think so. I think this was a one and done. It was that much of a bomb.
Big
like
flop.
Atlantis.
Why is it a cult classic? You know,
because people love it. Like people love the design. Like as you were describing, people love the steampunk design. They love the innovative, like
the monster design. Is cool.
Yeah. They love, and I feel like a lot of people just enjoy a hero's journey story, and they probably
hero's journey, right? At the end of the day, it's all Joseph Campbell, and people already know the fucking story. So it's like,
but you need to make it work. You need to make it work. Even Star Wars did a better job of developing its characters in this movie.
I understood what Jim was going through. He's getting in trouble. There's no, he misses something, but he doesn't know what it is.
It's so surface level. They dig no deeper than they need to.
It's the same story as Star Wars. It's the same story as any of them, right? You don't know your dad. You're on a fucking shithole. You want to get out and go see the world. They're all the same.
Yeah, but it's worse.
But I don't even think about that because I already know it's built in that this is going to be one of 3 stories.
At least with Luke Skywalker, they spend time on that planet, and he sees his parents die, and that informs his decision to become a Jedi.
His parents.
Not in the. I mean, they barely talk. Uncle Ben, and the other one, they never fucking even talk.
Uncle Owen.
Those characters are not even in the fucking movie. Uncle Owen.
What do they talk about? They talk.
They're for one scene. They have the blue milk. And that's it.
Important.
And they fuck off.
He has to go to Hashi Station.
Important.
He tells him.
He sees them die.
Even less than this.
Jim
movie.
gives no. That is a big
between his aunt
absolutely
and Luke's relationship with his aunt and uncle.
Absolutely, we see nothing between him and his dad.
We're gonna time all the interactions.
From now on, we time interactions. That's what we do.
I mean, it's
unbelievable.
It's subjective.
The fact that you said that he's like Luke Skywalker's less motivated than Jim Hawkins. That's crazy to me. Like that's just crazy.
No, I said the same, congruently.
The same?
Yeah, because all the motivations are basically the hero's journey, and they don't really.
We don't even see his dad's face. We don't see any of it. We see none of that.
Of course, that's part of the alienation.
But his
alienation, and that's where he runs to Long John Silver and tries to make him daddy. Right?
Yeah, but we find that out after he meets John Silver. We don't find that out beforehand.
And the whole time, Long John Silver's exploiting that relationship until he's not. When his feelings become too real, and he understands he cares about this boy. God damn it! Yeah. And I'm not going to be like, "Oh, we're going to make this mistake again." And like he turns his back on him, and then he finally saves him at that. Right? It's like, "Oh, Jimbo."
Well, here's the thing: is I don't think this movie,
but it's there. It's cliche, but it's there.
I don't think this movie is a bad movie. I feel like it just gets over the edge for me because I love John Silver. I love everything they do with John Silver. I love that character. I love the pain he feels when he has to double-cross Jim.
Oh, Captain Amelia, I thought she was a great character. She was very...
Yeah, but she wasn't like
she was really dynamic, and, I really liked... She was a strong character. I liked her. I thought it was voice acting.
Yeah, I like her. But she's not like the core of the film, and I feel like John Silver is the core of the film, right?
It's definitely about... It's definitely about the father-son relationship in a different way, in a different aspect.
And that's what I'm saying, is it's about the father-son relationship, but we don't see any of that development, because it's all in a montage. That's the problem, for me, with the film. That's my big issue with Treasure Planet.
Lance from Saints.
And it's also... It's also telling because Atlantis got 2 sequels.
I didn't see Atlantis, so that's not fair because I didn't see Atlantis. I can only compare this in a vacuum, right?
But what I'm saying is that Atlantis is also was a bomb. It didn't make the money back that it needed to, but it had a huge home video. Like it made so much money on home video, which meant
I'm sure all these movies do.
They ended up
internationally too.
Treasure Planet didn't have a great home video performance either. No.
What about worldwide? Did it make money? It probably made all the money back internationally.
Well, I can have a look.
You could look it up. I'm not too worried about the mouse. Yeah. I know the mouse is going to eat tonight. They're going to be all right over there.
Yeah. So its budget was 140 million.
And that's a big budget.
Yeah, and you have to include marketing as well, which is usually about the same amount or half. About half the budget of the original. But the box office of Treasure Planet was 100 million, which is a huge bomb. It's less
for Disney. That's terrible.
Exactly.
But it was also what month did it come out in 2002?
I have no idea.
All right, because late September 2001, something happened. All right.
This is 2002 though. This is November 2002.
Yeah, but late 2001.
You can't put a timetable on an Ace and Healing, JC.
3 months before 2002.
I guess not.
3 months before 2002. 3 months before 2002.
But remember, that's no excuse because Lilo and Stitch came out right after 9/11, and they had to edit stuff out of Lilo and Stitch.
Really?
Like the final sequence, because it was very. The Lilo and Stitch ending was originally very plane heavy and buildings heavy, and they had to reanimate it so that it was a spaceship instead, and it was in Hawaii.
I'm just gonna say this right now: if either of you two ever had hopes of working with Disney in the future, those are gone.
They're done
because you have to play ball. Of
Disney,
course, I love this movie. Of course, I hate it. But I'm not going to talk about the mouse because the mouse
Disney,
controls everything.
Mine's good. Mine's good.
Disney, I really like Moana, actually. I think Moana's really good, but fuck Frozen.
What?
Get out of here.
Speaking of Moana.
Frozen was boring.
I have grievances against Moana.
I mean, we can talk about other Disney films. Listen, we have time. We can.
Yeah,
I thought
that's
Frozen
what I was
was
saying.
boring as shit. I thought it was going to be spectacular because the marketing was so good for Frozen. Everyone was losing their shit for Frozen. I saw it. I'm like, it was all right.
Frozen.
I still haven't seen Frozen. I
haven't seen Moana.
The second one's even worse. Like the second Frozen's terrible.
So
it's fine. It's just fine.
And I've never seen it. So I was spending time with my family, and Flame was there also.
Gross.
And, I happened to look to the right, and they were watching Moana, and I was like,
Moana's really good.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah. Ooh, like, you were enjoying it. You were starting to enjoy it, weren't you?
Yeah, it was a little bit.
Was that hand-drawn and CGI as well, or have they tried this before?
Nah, it's full CGI. Moana. Yeah.
Full CGI. Moana.
Yeah, Moana's full CGI,
See, hand-drawing
but that takes a lot of work.
You can't make hand-drawing look as good as CGI nowadays. So people, when you look back at like the classics, like Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella, you're going to say this animation is not good. But it's as good as you can with hand-drawn.
I say they're really good. No, I disagree. I'd say it's really good.
The really good hand-drawn has a way of flowing that CGI just hasn't gotten down yet.
Yeah. It's that 24 frames that you could tell that they focus on every frame and like it's an art form. And there's no motion blur or anything. It just looks really nice. And when they use motion blur, they do it intentionally. It's just like hand-drawn animation is just its own medium.
Yeah,
and it's just died now.
I mean, nobody does better than Studio Ghibli.
No. Yeah.
No, and there's a big problem because after Toy Story and Shrek, and they made billions of dollars. Basically, hand-drawn animation just like went by the wayside.
Oh, it's so expensive because you need 140 dudes to do it.
Do it, yeah.
Okay, and it's like crazy.
I love it, but it's just a shame. It's just a shame.
Of course.
What was I going to say though? But yeah, my point was about Lilo and Stitch is that movie made gangbusters. Like that movie made so much money after it came out. It led to a huge franchise and everything. And that movie doesn't have the problems that Treasure Planet has either. I'll tell you what film does have the problems that Treasure Planet has, and that's Frozen 2.
Frozen, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen
Frozen 1.
Okay, it has the same issues. It doesn't.
Boring.
Yeah, it doesn't set anything up. Like, I feel like the characters are completely unmotivated there as well. Like, I feel like this movie, it gives you lip service. Like, it tells you his dad's not there. And he says,
if I want to draw
I'm sorry,
parallel,
I disappointed you, Mom.
What about,
you need to dramatically...
What about Fox and Hound? The Fox and the Hound, I think, did a good explanation of the character relationships. And because the whole movie never got off that.
Yeah,
and I understand
it
what you're
goes
saying
through the motions
because it never stops on that level between the relationship between Cooper and
Jim.
Todd in Fox and Hound, right? It's always those two the whole fucking time.
Correct.
And this one, they're trying to make Delbert and the captain's relationship pop in this one.
Yes.
And I seem to think that they divert sometimes from the Long John Silver Jim relationship to talk about that relationship, but I don't care if Dilbert, has a relationship. And that's
you
the
don't
problem
care if Dilbert
too,
lands,
right?
Delbert,
I don't care about Ben, right? I don't care that he was left on the planet because
it's just John Silver and Jim. Like that's the stuff I want to see, and they skip out on it.
Maybe we need to make a sequel, and we just need to write it better and really.
Well, I wanted to write. Well, that's what I was saying. Is the other thing I did is I started writing like a live action version of Treasure Planet, like where it's like a proper epic, it's proper.
That's what you have to do to get
because I know a couple guys that can adapt that into a.
I can make an improv version of it. It'd be fucking spectacular.
I'd be really into that.
In the ring of of acting, in that. But
if we want to do Treasure Planet remake on Channel 9, I will help write that for sure.
Don't say it if you don't mean it, because I'll actually do it. You know what I mean?
It's just going to be tough with all the work I've got to do in the next few weeks, but yeah. I
got Ghost Monsters Live coming out on July 26th anyway. So.
Yeah. I really like the way the film opens though with the storybook. How it has the narration of the storybook over the kids reading the book, and it's very it's very cozy. Harry Potter. He's under his sheets. Yeah. And I really love like the way that his mom interacts with the kid. He's like, "Can I read one more story?" Oh, okay.
What made me feel uncomfortable with the way Morph was always rubbing on Long John Silver. I thought it was really inappropriate. It was constant. It was like too much attention. And he's a bit of a sex pest. Morph is a bit of a sex pest.
Can he? But the problem is he's tiny. He's this big. Like whenever he turns into people, he's this big.
Make it work.
I was rooting for Morph the whole time. Disgusting. I was more interested. Maybe I'm the 3-year-old that Morph was designed for because I couldn't take my eyes off that kooky little guy. I don't know what scamp.
You know what's cool? The name of the ship was the R.L. Stein after the guy who wrote Treasure Island. That was pretty cool.
R.L. Stein. Hold on.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No, it was the Legacy.
The name of the ship
Robert Louis Stevenson.
Yeah.
No, it was called the same ship as in Treasure Planet. The same the Legacy. Right? It's the same name of the ship.
You do know what R.L. Stein actually wrote, right?
Yeah. Goosebumps. Right? All right, so here we are, chat. We've arrived where we always arrive.
You know what's funny? In this moment, I said R.L. Stein because I'm obviously fucking around. But in the moment watching the movie, I look at Flame and I go, "That's Robert Louis Stevenson. That's so cool."
It's very clever, isn't it?
Cool. I actually like it. Yeah.
RLS, yeah.
The book is a banger. The book is actually a banger.
The book.
It's really good. I remember reading it in they made us read it in school at some point, but I remember actually wanting to read it, which is often they give you shit you read, you have to fucking through it. It was a page turner. It was a big book when it came out.
They dive into Jim and John's relationship, right?
If you want to if you're really gonna do this Treasure Planet redo, right? You got to read Treasure Planet, the original.
Got to read Treasure
because it's so good. Island, It's so dense, and if you love pirate stuff, this is the canon. This is where it all comes from. And I mean, it was such a big book when it came out, right? Back in the fucking 19th century or whatever. Because
has there been any live action adaptations of Treasure Island?
Oh yeah,
straight
many.
Yeah, any good ones?
I mean, I have to think off my head, but I've seen a couple good ones. I remember, maybe not recently, but I'd have to look at the wiki. But I'm
what was that Roman Polanski one? Was that Treasure Island? I know he did a.
That was just pirates. Was that?
What did you say, Tom?
The Pianist.
The pianist.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with it.
We always talk about Roman Polanski. What is going on with you guys?
We love Roman Polanski.
No.
If there's one thing you need to learn about 3 Grandmas, we love Roman Polanski. We're here for Rosemary's Baby. We're here for Chinatown. We're here for Oliver.
I just know he made a pirate
Have you seen the movie he made in France when he was kicked out of the country called, the Oliver Twist remake he made?
I have seen that. That was really good.
It's the fucking best version of Dickens
Ben
I've
Kingsley
ever
makes me
seen.
cry in that.
So that's the problem with Roman Polanski is he can direct his nuts off, but he's a bit of a problem child.
I feel like there's more problems than that.
Shout out Woody.
Polanski.
Shout out Woody Allen. He's always a viewer. Hi Woody, I know you're here.
Hi Woody.
He doesn't talk and chat, but he's here.
Pragpro is a fan of Woody Allen's personal choices specifically.
I'm not a fan of his films. I just like him as a person.
Harvey Weinstein, banger after banger after banger after banger.
Let me tell you something about Harvey Weinstein.
What are we doing?
I still put $40 on his books every month, so he gets the cup of soups and he can trade.
Don't admit that. Don't admit that.
Yeah, because these are my guys, JC.
We're being transparent here. That's what we're doing.
These are my guys.
Okay. The only reason I brought up Polanski is because I know he made a pirate movie, and I was wondering if that was Treasure Island or not. Okay.
I haven't seen it. I'm sure there's
not a fan of that guy personally.
Big directors have taken a shot at
I'm not a fan of
Treasure
rappers.
Island.
Yeah.
No, let's take a fucking look. You know what I'm talking about? Let's take a look. No, this is what we're here for. Let's
what
find
are
out
you doing
about
right now?
Island.
You going through? What are you doing?
I'm going to look at Treasure Island remakes.
Okay.
Or Treasure Island films. Just real quick.
That'd be
I
good.
guess Disney made one, but maybe they didn't.
Oh, I'm sure.
No, this is their remake. This is the one.
No. I mean, not a remake, but like an actual.
There's a TV show, JC.
Island.
Are you thinking of
There's a TV show as well.
Oh, Black Sails? Is that?
No,
that's
it's called Treasure Island. There's been Muppet Treasure Island. Disney made Muppet Treasure Island.
It counts.
I'm pretty sure Black Sails is Treasure Island, isn't it?
There's a 1950 film. There's a 1978 film series. There's a 99 film. This 99 might be a good one.
Is there an adult adaptation of Treasure Island, maybe?
Yeah, I want to make one with the captain from the Kitty Cat captain on this. I'd love to make a sequel to this, but I don't think anyone...
Does Chat know anything? Yeah. Does Chat know what we're talking about?
Chat bounced as soon as they found out which movie we were reviewing. They were here for, they're here for, they want to see Heat. They want to, they're bad boys. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know about our chat, but they're not interested in all the baby stuff that we do, but that's what we do for me. We do the stuff for me, chat.
So Black Sails is an American historical adventure television series set on New Providence Island and written to be a prequel to Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island.
Prequel.
Yeah, I want to watch that show.
On? What network was that on?
That was Stars.
Oh my God, Stars. Who the fuck has Stars?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, what is this Treasure Island TV franchise?
I've heard that show's really good, though.
Oh, there's a New Zealand reality competition called Treasure Island.
New Zealand.
Of course, it's New Zealand on TV.
Dark financed it after seeing
Oh my God. Was
like,
Dark
who could be the best cat girl?
Oh my God, it's got several seasons too. It's still on.
Then he
has to be on that show.
Can I be honest about something? I was watching Delbert in this film, and he kind of reminded me of my boy.
Because he's a sad sack?
Yeah. Am I crazy?
Or our boy?
Our boy Darky.
I understand.
He's got the sideburns.
I love the fucking armor that he popped out when they were taking out the ship. They had that belt. That was funny. And I'm like, oh, there's going to be some jokes in this one. And then that was the last joke.
That was it.
Yeah. Well, Amelia had that joke about, like, you need to put it, like, properly charge it.
And then there's a one line where he says, like, he says instead of astronomy, he says, I have the anatomy for that or something.
Yes.
Whoa!
I thought that was funny.
Yo! Yeah. David Hyde Pierce is a W. David Hyde Pierce actually pulled this character off.
He's the GOAT in this movie, I think. Like, they should have just had him. I don't know why they had Ben. Like, he was the funniest character in the movie.
Yeah, when he showed up, I'm like, what? We're almost, what time are we at? It's like 70 minutes in here. We're at the end.
Late into the film. Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, and because it's so far into the film, the mystery...
Like $10 million for that? Do you think they paid him like a fuck ton of money just to be...
Probably. Well, like, we need another Aladdin. We need another genie.
Another genie, yeah.
Yeah, and we also
I want
need
to say something about Martin Short. He was doing improv the other night. I think it was on Kimmel or one of those shows.
He was doing the fat shit thing.
Yeah, he was doing Jiminy Glick.
Yeah.
Jiminy Glick. He was fucking killing. He was killing, and it was totally improvised. You could tell he was playing off. He is a genius when it comes to improv. When the script comes, it's not as good because he needs to. They should have just let him improv a bunch of shit and then animated it to it. Which is what they did with Robin Williams.
I can't remember what happened, but didn't someone like post wasn't there like some big publication that basically said Martin Short's not funny anymore, and that's why he did the
They
Jiminy
fuck
Glick thing.
themselves. They don't.
I have a feeling I
Really?
read that somewhere.
That's funny.
Yeah,
That's funny. That's
like
true.
he's just like brought the Jiminy Glick character back and nailed it.
Oh yeah, and he was on Broadway with Steve Martin for like a year, keeping him sharp, and that's why he's so good at improv still, because he's been doing improv 3 times a day for a year now, right? Well, anyone who has a problem with
yeah, here's the article. Why we keep putting up with Martin Short. It was from Slate.
That's clickbait.
Guy.
I mean, I don't know, bro. Does
and
anyone read that shit anymore? I mean,
apparently that's why he did he brought back the Jiminy Glick character, is because he wanted
a article to write.
Yeah,
right? Because it's like there's some people who are objectively not funny and shouldn't be performing comedy, but he's not one of them. Right?
No.
And some people just don't fuck with Martin Short, and this has always been the case. Like even when he was banging on Saturday Night Live and doing Ed Grimley, and when he was on SCTV, you know, the Canadian original, which was better than Saturday Night Live, he has he's goated, and people just don't like the person.
Even when he's in like a really bad film, like The Tooth Fairy, he's the best part in the film. I don't know if you guys seen The Tooth Fairy.
I don't think they gave him anything funny to say. That's the thing.
Yeah. Was he Jack Frost in the Santa Claus? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's really good in that as well.
The escape clause.
My favorite thing he did is he does a water. He does it's back in like the 80s on Saturday Night Live, and he and his brother are going to be the first male synchronized swimmers at the Olympics, and they have that whole movie Have you seen this, JC? It's so funny. You should look it up.
What is it?
The whole thing is he can't swim, and he's like, I'm not a very strong swimmer, and he's like holding his nose when he goes, and he's got a flotation device, and they're like doing this.
Funny.
I know you. I know you.
That.
You gotta look it up, JC. It's I'll put it in the grandma's.
I'll have to look it up for sure.
I'll put it on the Discord for the fam.
Movie for me is Three Amigos. I love that fucking movie.
I haven't seen it yet. I need to see it. You should put it on there. We should talk about it.
I haven't seen it since it came out, so I don't remember.
By the way, it's Prag's choice next, isn't it?
Prag's next. He's next.
Yeah, has he made a choice?
Yeah, I have an idea.
Right.
I came up with it today because I saw Jordan. I saw my man play Jim Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
And I said, Don John. That's the fucking. That's the banger. So
I haven't seen it. I wanted to see it. That's his directorial debut, isn't it?
Oh, he directed it?
But yeah, he directed it.
With Scarlett Johansson?
Scarlett
Johansson. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that. I've been wanting to.
Cool.
Have you seen it, Pragpro?
I have. I loved it when it came out. It's like a romantic comedy, but from so many different angles. And Scarlett Johansson's
he's a porn addict, right? Like that's the
I don't want to give anything away.
Okay.
I think it's basically talking about at the time that the film was made, what society was going through with dating and dealing with the internet and overstimulation and nobody wants to mess with older women anymore. So they deal with all those things. It's a really cool movie.
That's a really good choice.
Was it post 9/11?
I mean, listen, when you're talking about 6 months after 9/11, it was different.
I mean, everything post 9/11 nowadays, just
everything.
We need to know.
I'm just trying to figure out how Disney made it
film has the effects of 9/11 on it. You can tell.
They always address it.
Listen, you guys how old were you guys during 9/11?
At World's End. Remember that scene?
Oh, yeah.
Where they're on the beach and they talk about 9/11.
How old were you on 9/11?
I was 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then this other guy? Okay.
Do you remember where you were?
I woke up for school. Now. So now for our 9/11 segment.
Welcome to the 9/11 segment.
Oh my god. Where were you, Pragpro?
Welcome to the Always Remember segment.
What were you doing?
In San Jose, and I fucking was hungover, and I stopped drinking that day, and I hadn't had a drink since then. So
because of that?
Because of that?
Everything was sharpened, and shit got real serious. So
yeah. Is that like, were you political before that, or was that the start of it?
Since I was 15.
Good. That's good.
I woke up.
But I was kind of like cruising a little bit. Let's see, how old was I? 26, probably 25, something like that. So it was a different time.
Yeah.
But
did you? What did you? You went to college, obviously.
Mm-hmm. I went to Sonoma
What did
State.
what did you study? Did you
Political
study
science.
English? Political science. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Cool.
knew what I wanted to study from the time I was in the 6th grade, probably. I
man.
basically orientated my whole life to working in that arena, and nobody had to tell me to do it. It was just like, I don't know why. It was just like a combination. I was a really big fan of history, and usually what happens when somebody gets involved in politics at a young age is usually something's either they're sick as a child or the mother's sick as a child, and they get intimate knowledge of injustice in the world. Because to a young person, very young, the first injustice is when they're sick or their mother's sick, and that seems to activate them to some regard. Yeah. And there was a lot of economic problems in the early 80s when we moved out to California. So, we basically moved out here with like our shirts on our backs, right? And so, things were a little tough, and, for whatever reason, I used to read biographies of historians, like designed for someone in the 6th grade or whatever, 5th grade, like for a 10-year-old. But I would read those when I was in kindergarten, 1st grade.
Yeah,
so
I was pretty isolated.
I would bring like 30 books home and just devour.
Yeah,
constant. So,
I was pretty isolated from like a lot of that stuff. So basically, like my political awakening came from just the people that I ended up being around, and just discussions.
I just wanted to make it. I knew that was the most efficient way to help as many people as possible. And at the end of the day, that's what I wanted to do. It wasn't about the power. It wasn't. I never wanted to run for anything. I just knew it was like I saw it as a tool, like inclined plane or a pulley, or it's a way to create leverage for people who have none.
Yeah, good on you.
And that's just the way it is for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to watching Don John next week. It's gonna be a banger, I think. So
I hope it holds up. I haven't seen it since it came out, but who knows? Sometimes these, just like Treasure Planet didn't hold up. Sometimes they don't hold up, but it'll be fun to watch.
It was a bit controversial. It was a bit controversial.
It's a dirty film. I mean, it's not dirty, but it's. But now modern times. I think it's a really solid rom-com. I love a solid rom-com. Well written, interesting characters. We'll see.
So, Time, would you recommend Treasure Planet, and what would you rate it?
I'd recommend it to a child.
Yeah,
like me,
like you. You're like you, JC. I would slap you if you wanted to watch this again. But inner child, JC, I'll hang out with you. Have fun, buddy. Have fun.
Oh yeah, it's a banger for a kid.
No, I wouldn't recommend it. I'd probably give it like a 50. Yeah.
Pragpro, would you recommend Treasure Planet, and what would you rate it?
I mean, anytime I think about an animated Disney film, I'm always looking at in the context of the family, not necessarily the child. I wouldn't tell my buddy. I wouldn't say, Dark BMXer, make sure you go see. Well, actually, he would probably really appreciate that.
He would love this.
Most of my bros, like my FIFA bros, I'm like, oh yeah, you gotta check out Treasure Planet. There's some sick fucking laser fight. No, it's not that kind of movie. But if they have a kid, if you want to hang out with your kid on a Saturday and have a pizza and have a nice time and laugh and watch 2 or 3 Disney movies, I would put this in a grouping with like Fox and the Hound and The Rescuers and this.
So
and you have a triple feature. This is like a mid movie. I give it a 70. I think it was a yeoman's effort. I respect craft. I understand what it takes to make something crazy.
Just to be clear, I would recommend Aladdin and The Lion King to anyone. I wouldn't just recommend it to kids.
And so, Beauty and the Beast. I feel that way about Beauty and the Beast. Is a banger.
I haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah. So I think that's a good comparison to make in how we're recommending this one. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend this to anyone over the age of maybe 13. I think parents especially would get very annoyed by Ben. What about if Mom has had like 3 Chardonnays? You enjoyed it then? Yes, of course. Yeah. But I still like the film. I think it's okay. And I think the reason why it's okay is because I really like John Silver and I really like everything involving that character and like his journey through the movie. I think John Silver saves it. But otherwise, I probably wouldn't recommend it to many people. Read Treasure Island instead, I imagine.
Read it and watch one of the other adaptations. I don't know which one's the good one, but there's a bunch out here. Don't know which ones are good. Maybe the 99 one.
But I'd probably give it a 60, I think. I'm halfway through between you two. Yeah. So that gives an average score of 60. Well done. We should do average scores.
We don't do any of that, JC. It doesn't matter what
We
score we get. We
should.
don't note any of it on the Discord.
Yeah,
We just have a log and see what. But
we
you know
should
what?
have a wiki.
I'm not interested in the scores as much as talking about it. The most important part is talking about it, because scores don't really mean shit at the end of the day.
I know. It's just for like, because viewers love.
Go back to
viewers
Brooklyn.
love rating.
You're a fucking bum.
I'd give the Dodgers maybe a 10.
I give the Dodgers a 3 out of 10.
Out of 100.
30.
Oscar Hernandez was the first Dodger to win the home run derby.
Gross.
I don't know what that means.
Nobody cares.
I mean, he hit more home runs than anyone. It's awesome.
It's just words to me.
Fucking bangers.
Do you know what baseball's ratings are right now? They're just like
at an all-time high.
Better ratings. It's
at an all-time
crazy.
High. The money that Ohtani is bringing in, crazy.
Anyway, thank you, everyone.
Global sensation. The owners make more money.
Global sensation.
The owners are so spectacular.
I'm not going to let it bring the. I'm not
Japanese players. Buy them all.
You know what?
I am not letting time bring this podcast to baseball. This is not the baseball podcast. Make your own baseball podcast time.
This is it. Hey, I'm the one that's controlling the ending, so.
Can I stream?
You're a good point. You press the button.
How about I go live? What do you guys think about that?
I could just leave. But
I'll just stay on. I'll stay on for hours.
You keep talking for another 2 hours while Greg and I leave.
Saturday.
Yeah. You could do that.
We could just leave it open and just people can just strip up their microphones if they have an idea.
Yeah.
It might be better for
and then I could just cut that stuff.
There you go. I'm shocked that we're not partnered at this point. And after 12
affiliate,
weeks,
you mean?
Or not affiliate, rather. I mean, the viewership is piss poor, and I blame you guys for that.
Why are you blaming me?
Because I'm a big star.
I didn't
don't have any problem getting any other views on any other channel.
I didn't make a poster for this one. I've been real busy. But anyway, thank you guys.
Look at the special poster for Don John.
I will make a poster for
Posters have been bangers. Whoever's making those? No, it's not. Whoever's making
it's me.
Whatever AI you're attributing to.
I make them from scratch.
No.
Get out of here.
A great job.
Thank you. But thank you everyone for watching. This has been a fun podcast. Enjoying talking about one of my childhood classics, Treasure Planet, that I don't enjoy much anymore. But have a good day, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.